Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Okay, let me guess. You sat down to work today, maybe to write a quick email or read an article, right? And suddenly you realize 30 minutes have completely vanished and you're staring at a totally unrelated video on your phone. Look, if you're feeling increasingly distracted, mentally exhausted, and just unable to focus despite having literally more time-saving tools than ever before, you are definitely not alone. It is a universal modern frustration. So today, we're going to unpack exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how you can take your brain back. Okay, let's dive into this. We are talking about over 5 billion global internet users. More people are connected today than at any other point in human history. That means your screen time, your clicks, your views, and your engagement are part of a massive global economy. Attention has literally become one of the most valuable resources in the world, and companies are competing fiercely for it. You're getting hit with thousands of digital signals every single day, and honestly, it's taking a massive toll on your learning, your productivity, and your overall well-being. So this brings us to the core question we're tackling today. Are these devices inherently damaging our ability to focus, or can we redesign our relationship with them? I want to tell you right now, up front, to let go of the guilt. Your inability to focus is not simply a lack of discipline or some kind of character flaw. Today, we're going to look at the hard science behind what's actually happening in your brain, and we're going to figure out how you can fix it without just relying on pure willpower. Let's start by looking at the root of the problem. Section 1. The modern attention crisis. Why we lose focus. To really understand why our attention is failing us, we kind of have to look backward at how our brains were built. For most of human history, our evolutionary past, information was incredibly scarce. Our social groups were small, and the rewards we sought out were highly predictable. Our brains were completely optimized for that world. But contrast that evolutionary past with our modern reality. Today, we live with unlimited information, constant social comparison, instant entertainment, and immediate feedback. We have fundamentally mismatched our biology with our environment. Our natural attention systems are just constantly being overwhelmed. So what's actually happening chemically in the brain when we get overwhelmed? Section 2. The truth about dopamine and why it's not just a reward. You've probably heard the word dopamine thrown around a lot online. Dopamine is a chemical messenger in your brain, but it's absolutely crucial to understand its actual job. It plays a huge role in motivation, learning, decision-making, and importantly, reward prediction. It's the chemical drive that literally makes you seek out information or experiences. It's an evolutionary survival tool, right? It's the exact same drive that kept our ancestors looking for food and resources. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast between the myth and the reality. The common misunderstanding is that dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It's just that feeling of happiness you get when you watch a funny video. But the reality is that dopamine helps your brain predict rewards. It motivates the behavior toward the reward. When you reach for your phone, you don't know if you have a message, a like, or absolutely nothing at all. That uncertainty itself triggers dopamine, driving you to repeatedly check. It's the seeking, not just the having. And believe me, the tech world knows this. Section 3. How platforms hack attention. Let's move to and see how this builds. Because we need to examine the invisible strings engineered to exploit our biological seeking behaviors. Let's look at how this distraction landscape evolved and how incredibly fast it happened across our timeline. In 2007, the modern smartphone completely changed how we access information. By 2010, social media became an everyday tool. In 2016, algorithms pushed short-form video into overdrive. Then in 2020, remote work made us entirely dependent on digital communication. And looking ahead to 2026, AI integration means even more competition for our attention. Our brains simply haven't had time to adapt to this rapid escalation of digital interruptions. And this escalation birthed what we call the smartphone attention cycle. Look at this 5-step loop. Step 1, you get a trigger, like a notification buzzing. Step 2, you take action and check your phone. Step 3, you receive a reward, maybe an interesting video or a text, but crucially, it is unpredictable. Step 4, your brain learns and remembers, hey, checking my phone might give me something valuable, which leads right into Step 5, you repeat the behavior. Over time, this reinforces compulsive checking patterns. It is a highly effective, deeply ingrained habit loop. And let's be real, the platforms are packed with mechanics specifically designed to keep you in that loop. They use unpredictable variable rewards, literally just like a slot machine in Vegas. They use infinite scrolling. Think about it for a second. Newspapers, books, TV shows, they all have natural stopping points. Digital platforms entirely remove them. One video easily becomes 10. They also use notifications that create constant attention switches. And they weaponize our natural human need for approval by turning it into measurable social validation through likes and shares. Section 4. The multitasking myth and task switching costs.
So, the crucial point is, you might be thinking, surely I can handle a few notifications if I just multitask, right? Well, no way. The concept you really need to understand here is attention residue. So many people believe they are good at multitasking, but actually, scratch that. Your brain doesn't do simultaneous complex thinking well. What you're actually doing is rapid task switching. When you switch from writing a report to checking an email and then back again, part of your attention remains stuck on the email. That's the attention residue. The brain has to repeatedly rebuild context, which takes massive mental effort, leads to more mistakes, and severely reduces the quality of your concentration.
The collateral damage of this constant task switching is just widespread, impacting so many different stakeholders. For everyday users, it leads to stress, major procrastination, and a noticeable reduction in everyday patience. For employers, this digital overload lowers productivity and the overall quality of work. And for educators, it's becoming a massive challenge to help students sustain attention for long reading assignments or deep learning. In our modern economy, the ability to focus has truly become a rare competitive advantage. But hey, there is good news. You absolutely can get your attention back.
Section 5. How to rebuild focus and reclaim your brain.
We're going to look at a science-backed toolkit to reclaim your brain. Here are 5 actionable strategies you can literally start using today. First, reduce your attention triggers. Turn off those unnecessary notifications and create actual phone-free periods. Second, create focus environments. Setting up a distraction-free physical and digital workspace will always be relying on pure willpower. Third, practice single tasking. Literally just do one thing at a time. Fourth, protect your sleep. Digital habits like late-night scrolling destroy the sleep you need for memory and emotional control. And fifth, treat your attention like a skill that needs training through things like reading longer texts or meditation. Now, before we wrap up, we have to address a massive viral trend, the so-called dopamine detox. The myth out there is that sitting in a dark room avoiding all stimulation will biologically reset your brain. The reality? You are not addicted to dopamine itself. While taking short breaks from highly stimulating apps is a really great way to interrupt bad habit loops, a true, lasting ability to focus requires daily environment design. Technology isn't the automatic enemy here. It's uncontrolled attention capture that's the problem. And this brilliantly illustrates what we are ultimately striving for: deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a demanding, complex task. Whether you're writing, programming, studying, or doing creative work, this is where the magic happens. By understanding your dopamine system, removing those infinite scrolls, and designing your environment for single tasking, you can train your brain back to a state of deep work. It improves your creativity, your learning, and honestly, your overall mental well-being. I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. As AI and recommendation algorithms become more and more sophisticated, the competition for your screen time is only going to intensify. It's a guarantee. The question is, will you let the algorithms dictate where your mind goes? Or will you step up and become the architect of your own focus? Who will control your attention tomorrow?